There we go. Whoopsie. Oh. I'm a little rusty. I apologize.
We miss you.
No,
we missed you.
Well, stop lying
We're
to my
glad
face.
you're
I
back.
said it before. Stop lying to my face. Thank you, Blue, for subscribing. Ugh.
Welcome
Hi.
to Best of Five. Oh, that's right. I don't have to do that now. You're back. That's your line.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Best of Five. And first of all, I have to address something very important. I'm sorry that we can no longer call it Blow Up Tuesdays. I'm sorry we ruined the meme. But we're going to, for those of you listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube, first of all, thanks.
Yes.
Find better ways of spending your time, please.
No, don't do that.
And
This is the best way.
True. But we are recording on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. This is weird, Steve. This is Ultra Chen time if it was yesterday.
But it's not yesterday.
But it's not.
So, talk to the people. Tell the people why we're experimenting this week.
Okay, so long story short, I got a new job and it's in California, and I took a month off so I could move there, but that was a disaster. So I haven't moved yet, but I live in California now. At least my taxes say so. Don't call the IRS, please. IRS. But anyway, so because of the new job,
for the notorious tax haven that is California.
True. Yes, and let me tell you. Never mind. We'll talk about that later. This is not Wednesday. That is true, Die by Sword. We just covered that. It is. Wait, no. This isn't Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Sorry. You could tell I'm tired. But anyway, so with this new job, which is a great opportunity, and it's been tons of. I was gonna say fun, but I don't know if I would call it fun. Maybe it's fun. I don't. Whatever. If my boss is here, it's been tons of fun. However, there is a time shift. And the new time zone that I'm getting used to. So we couldn't push the show back on Tuesday because we don't want to have to compete with Ultra Chen because A, I like watching Ultra Chen. B, we're not going to win if we compete against Ultra Chen. They've been around way longer than we have.
Well, not with that attitude, we won't.
And
if we go on after Ultra Chen, that's like, what, midnight? They can
we'll
talk.
Never sleep.
They can talk.
Then we will never sleep. But yeah, so that's why we're currently on Wednesdays. We are trying to find the best place to put the show into our lives so that it doesn't ruin any of our lives.
And we don't know where that is yet. It might be on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It might be on a Monday. It might be on a Thursday. It might be in the morning. We've been thinking about possibly doing that.
Yeah, let me see in the chat right now. If we did a morning show on like a Sunday, how many of you would show up? Or how many of you would like be too hungover to show up? Let me know.
Or the other thing we've been thinking about is like, or we've thrown about at least, is like Sunday night as sort of a wrap up. It does get a little dicey when we have big events in the U.S., especially on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But, that's another possibility. We are very open to trying to figure out something that we can do. Yeah. We want to make you folks happy. We want to have you along with us for the journey. But we also have to be able to actually do it with our schedules. And that's, this way, because Ilan's on that side.
Yeah. But so a lot of people are asking how early. When, before Sunday finals is what we'll say. If Sunday finals start at 8 a.m., we're f***ed. Sorry, Steve.
Oh, man. I got to bust out the beep sound clip again.
Look, man, I saw you on Ultra Chen a couple weeks ago, and I gotta tell you, I like their way of things a lot better when it comes to cursing. But anyway, so
they have that clout.
Yeah, that's true. But the thinking for a Sunday show would be, and my ideal dream would be, if we could do a show like smack dab in the middle between two games of a Sunday final. I think that would be awesome. If not, right after a Sunday final, so we can then debrief as early as possible and be the first ever show to ever cover an event right as it ends. I think that'd be pretty sick. Like the countdown would be like the grand finals. No, I like watching the top 8 ceremony. Never mind. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're figuring it out. We'll see what happens. Most likely, to be completely frank, even though my name is Ilan, most likely this might be the day we do it, but we can dream and try and hope. Unless, everyone else has other ideas, and that's fine. I think all this boils down to is we're working on it.
It's ready when it's ready.
Yeah. Speaking of ready, Steve, we need to talk about stuff that already happened. So, would you please hit us with the first ever Wednesday recap?
Second ever.
Really?
There was that one. Yeah, there was that one episode where the computer blew up.
That is right.
Yeah. So this is the second ever Wednesday recap.
It's the first ever Best of 5 Season 4 Wednesday recap.
I think it's season. I don't know. We're over 200 episodes into this thing.
It's Season 4. That's what I have the name of the project of which we are in. It's Season 4. Because Season 1 of Best of 5 was when you guys started, before I was born into Best of 5. Season 2 of Best of 5 was when Efren left. Season 3 is when Sharpie joined, and Season 4 is when we added this stuff down here.
Well, that's your opinion, man.
Look, it's what the file name is, Steve. The
file names I'm putting on SoundCloud say it's season 6. This will be episode 16 of season 6.
Can't go above season 5, Steve.
We're doing it. 6 seasons and a movie. CEO happened.
I'm going to struggle with keeping on track.
God.
We'll try our best. Go for it, Steve. We can recap. Let me highlight it. Bam. Go for it.
CEO happened, and man, a whole lot went down. Let's talk about all the games at CEO first.
Okay.
Skullgirls kicking things off to Kill Sage, getting the victory there over Cloud in the grand finals. Turvan and Lorenzo Bomber rounding out the top 4. You see, it's an all-USA top 8. That was actually a very rare sight at CEO. There is only of the 10 games, 8 of them had at least one international player amongst the top 8, and that includes the next game we're gonna look at, BB Tag. Lan New 13 coming over from Korea to take our cookies and our milk. Eating good here, getting the win. Zero Shadow Blood and Yo Game Wizard rounding out the podium there. Again, let's talk Grand Blue. Let's talk about coming over from Asia and taking our cookies and milk. We're going to have nothing left for Santa at this rate.
Good.
Ren getting the win. Zambu and Gandito rounding out the top 3. Also, Diaphone had a pretty good weekend. You'll see their name elsewhere in the top 8 as well. Moving over to Marvel 3.
I got to watch.
We've got a Marvel 3 graphic.
I got to watch a lot of this. This was fun.
We've got some old familiar names we haven't gotten to say in a long time. Ray Ray is your winner, beating Jason Game Dev in the grand final. Escalante and Punk rounding out top 4. Punk's a Marblehead now?
Yep. Always
It's
was.
over. It is over.
He's got that Philly Marvel, man.
Oh, man. Ron Masama and Not Enough Damage tying for 8th. But look at some of these names. Ron Masama, Frankie G, Kane Blue River, Flocker. Some old heads coming in for Marvel.
Also, speaking of old heads, I think it's fair for us to mention.
Do you have the clip?
I don't have the clip. However, I just want to say it's a shame that a couple people decided to ruin the event for all of us when they didn't let the 2 grandparents win. All right, Tinker and I don't remember the granddad's screen gamer tag, but big ups to both Tinker and Granddad. I don't know. Can't remember.
You know what? You know what? I'm going to throw the link in pools right here in chat, and I'll do that on the YouTube video right now. And you can see for yourself. It starts at 31 minutes. It is Ram Bam versus Tinker. Ram Bam busting out. Zero Doom Dante.
He zooped an old lady. What the hell's wrong with you? Man.
If you come to Marvel, you're getting marveled. That's age, gender, sexual orientation, none of that matters. You're getting a ticket to watch the movie.
Big ups to them because they came to CEO to do research for their event in Georgia, of which I remember and I should have written down, but I did not. So big ups to them. If anybody in the chat knows, please post it in there, will you? All right, but yeah, I got to watch a lot of Marvel, and man, it was fun. I had a blast watching the tournament again. It felt like being at home, even though I'm currently not at home, even though I am at home. Kind of Southern Madness. That sounds pretty close, Blue. But yeah, big ups to Tinker and Granddad. Granddad won a game. He didn't go 0-3. He went 1-3, I think. So big ups to them. Anyway, Steve, there was more than just Marvel at CEO, was there not? On top of everything else. Arceus, thank you.
Araceus. I'm missing the. I'm missing the pronunciation.
Arceus sounds right.
They are setting up to run Southeast Mayhem.
Southeast Mayhem. Blue, you've betrayed me.
And that's going to take place in early 2022. But you know what? We've got more CEO to cover.
Yeah, we do. Go for it,
And
Steve.
we've got... And you want to feel some brotherly love?
No.
Well, too bad. You're feeling all the brotherly love. Because MK11 Top 8 had 2 sets of twins. Top 16 had 3 pairs of brothers overall. The 2 on top of the standings were these 16-year-old kids from Chile representing Top 7 Games. Scorpion Prox and Nicholas coming in. They are really, really good. But they are your winners. El Cucci. Oh, God, I was going to say El Cucci.
That's you're the one that has to. Also, big ups to El Kukui. And big ups to Katana Prime for being able to pronounce his name correctly.
El Kukui. That was one of those things. Do you remember when that esports team formed called Nigma?
Oh, yeah.
And that commentator went on stream and said Nigma 100 times in a row to prove that he would never mispronounce it in the very bad way. And then the first event that they were at, the very first time he said it, he mispronounced it in the very bad way. That's how I feel right now.
Well, look, you have the magic of editing. And for us in the chat here, we can all keep this between us until I clip it out and put it on Twitter.
It's going to happen anyway. But anyway, not only did the two Chilean brothers come out, but Yadriel El Punk coming up from Puerto Rico to make top 8. And Video Game Joe as well. So, and the Commandeur brothers as well from Canada coming in. So a whole lot of international representation in MK. And we've got international representation in Street Fighter, especially at the top of the podium.
Steve, real quick, we skipped over Dragon Ball. Shall we Dragon Ball real quick before we go to Street Fighter?
Yeah, let's Dragon Ball. This Mantlex is your DBFZ winner, taking it over Legendary Pred in the grand final. K-Sac and Jazz Rap rounding out the top 4, but again, Ajax Fidelity coming up from Puerto Rico to do some damage there. Hook and Chris G also in the top 8. And speaking of Puerto Rico, Mono, RR Mono is your Street Fighter 5 champion.
It took this long for a Fang to win big major. Because he's won like a Capcom Cup, or not a Capcom Cup, but he's won like a regional event before with Fang. But finally, Mono, big man on number 2 campus. Sorry,
it's
I apologize for that one.
That's okay. It's okay. I forgive you. Just this once, though.
Okay. Who else is in that top 8, though?
Top 8. We've got some quality players. We've got some quality names. We've got some names we haven't heard in a while. Chris Tatarian making top 4 behind Punk and Nephew. Chris Tatarian representing Ford Models. He ain't just taking pictures. He's working on his game. Joe Umerogan up there for one of the names of the week in there along with Chris G rounding out top 6. But you've got Kaba. You've got Mandrake. I can't read that top 9 line clearly. I got Kaba and just Pokey in the beginning, and I've got Shine at the end. Can you tell me who that third name is, please?
No.
Are you sure? Even if I give you a pass to say it?
No.
It's non-transferable.
Nope.
As in it can't be transferred to other words, but...
Not taking it, Steve.
You have it if you need it. You have it if you need it.
I'll save it for later. I'll keep it like the get-out-of-jail-free card. I probably shouldn't have... All right, you know what? Just go, Steve.
Good-ass Tekken. How about good-ass Tekken? A very international flavor on the Tekken side of things. 4 of the top 8 finishers coming from outside the U.S., including your champion, Arslan Ash. In case you don't know, he's pretty damn good at this game. He held off Anakin in the grand final. Book coming over from Thailand to take 3rd. Khan finishing 4th from Pakistan. Farzeen also coming over from Pakistan to make top 8.
Are we not going to talk about how? Are we not going to talk about how Khan had to defeat Genghis?
Genghis Don, another one of the great names of the week.
Genghis Don had to defeat Khan. I knocked over a cup. Also, did you get to watch any of this, Steve?
I didn't get to watch much. Tekken. I am in a position where I have to work for most of the weekend, so
yeah, that'll do it.
The days off that I do have are when I get to catch up.
Yeah. So, Arslan Ash was down, about to lose to Anakin, and pulled off a classic. Granted, it was in one game where he lost 2 rounds and then won 3. Also, what I thought was so magical is the first match of top 16 was Arslan Ash and Rip. So you're in for a magical event when the first match of a top 16 in Arslan Ash and Rip. Arslan Ash and Rip. And big ups to Rip and Tasty Steve and Markman and everybody. It's so nice to see everybody out and about doing stuff again. And we're going to talk more about that later, though.
I saw that the draw between Cuddlecore and Book, which was ridiculous. That was the matchup I really wanted to see at Kumite. That didn't pan out, but oh man, so much to catch up on. And there's even more because we've got some Smash. You know, CEO is one of it's one of the big events that. One of the few events that is big in both the traditional FGC and the Smash community. They came out in force for this one, and it's your boy, Moist Cola, getting the win over Gluttony, who came over from France in the grand final.
Yep.
Mute Ace and Fatality rounding out the top 4. And then let's wind things up with some Strive.
Also, big ups to the Lord Moist Critical for sending Cola out. Can't let that go unsaid. Also, I don't know if you got to see, but Moist Critical, who is a content creator here on YouTube and here on Twitch, I think maybe here on SoundCloud as well. But he watches the tournaments live, and him and his crew watching is the funniest thing because they get so into it. Like he'll get like a weight and just start like doing shoulder presses and then be like, "This is working. I have to keep doing this." It's so funny. So go support him because he's supporting us. He's signed a bunch of big names like Moist Cola, who won this event. He signed Hotashi. He's giving these players an opportunity that they probably wouldn't have otherwise of just being able to go to a tournament. So big ups to them fellers over there at the Moist Critical House.
Yeah. Let's close off the CEO portion of the recap with some Guilty Gear Strive. K7 Show-Off is your Strive champion. He takes home the belt. Remy Celeste coming down from Canada to take the silver medal. Kizzy K and Punk. Punk making top 4 in 3 different games. He is turning into a TO nightmare.
Yep.
Just like you got to schedule around him being in 1 game and probably making it far, and then he's in 2 more, and he made top 8 in both of those. Damn it. Oh, so I feel bad for the schedule creators. But you've got a pretty good top 8 there, Diaphone, making top 8 there as well as Tempest, Shine, and Idiosyncrasy rounding out your top 8. And you've got some big names like Marlin Pie, Hotashi, Lord Knight, Hook just outside. So very, very, very stacked tournament here.
Yeah,
even without players coming over from Japan and elsewhere.
And again, another super fun top 8 to watch. I thought it was hilarious that Kizzy K normally plays Kai, but he was playing Soul for the tournament, and he was using the Kai colors on Soul and called them Headband Kai. I thought that was pretty funny.
It counts. It counts.
And Punk, just showing what he can do, man. He's gonna be like the next Justin Wong, where he just plays everything and wins everything, and then everybody's gonna start rooting against him in Empire Arcadia, and then he's gonna move to the West Coast.
Are we bringing back Empire Arcadia just for the Punk arc?
Sure, why not? It's the principality of the situation, Steve.
Oh boy. There were a couple other events taking place. It wasn't just all CEO. We had more CPT action going down. The second event in the France, Spain, Portugal region, This one was won by Kills You, the Frenchman. The Frenchman taking the entire podium. Kills You, Akainu, and Luffy, your top three. Vega Patch doing the best among non-French players, hoisting the Spanish flag into fourth place. But Kills You has qualified for Capcom Cup. Luffy has not. If he comes over for the last chance qualifier, my goodness, you've got some big names.
That, you know what? This last chance qualifier is kind of giving me vibes.
I really hope they stream it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is true. Oh man, do you remember the last chance qualifier? Like the last one they streamed, where Nemo won.
Yeah,
and then managed to get like top 3, I think, in the actual tournament. But yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see that because we have a ton of names of people who have always made Capcom Cup, who this is their first year not making Capcom Cup, or so we think. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm a fan.
Yeah, there's something to be said about having momentum throughout the weekend, getting a chance to build it through the LCQ. But of course, you've got incredible players you got to deal with once you get to the main bracket. So it's going to be tough either way.
Yeah, that last chance qualifier, we're going to have a good squad of people coming to play. It's going to be great. Speaking of good squads, Steve.
Good squad is a great squad. It's been a little bit since we've checked in on the Street Fighter League. The Japanese Street Fighter League is about to enter its final day of the regular season. The format is the top team qualifies for the grand final. We already know who that is. That's Good 8 squad. 6 points clear of Tokido's Roto Z squad with a game in hand. They actually play later tonight if you're watching live to finish their season. The other 4 teams are confirmed already. Roto Z, Shinobiism, Gyogun, and Mildom Beast. They are all qualified. They're just fighting. Mildom Beast is just fighting for seeding because they are the only team among those 4 that have a game left. So those 4 teams battle out to reach the grand final, and Good 8 squad will be there waiting for whoever comes out of that bloodbath. On the U.S. side of the Street Fighter League divide, another strong performance for Nasser Esports. This was a dominant episode. Vodafone Giants 3-0 over Nordavind. Not just a 3-0, but a 3-0 where every set was 2-0. It was a total domination there. Panda Global did very similarly. Only got 1 game, and that was through Punk. But 1-2-1 and the other 2-2-0, and that adds up to a 3-0 win for Nasser Esports. They stretched their lead atop the standings. They're now a game and a half up on Vodafone. PG now drops to 3rd at 3-3, but still 4 teams between 3-2 and 2-3. So this is far from settled.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens to the Vodafone Giants.
You know what? 1 per schedule.
Was there anything else that we wanted to recap this weekend? I'm sure there is because it was a big one. Yeah,
we've got a couple of regional finals to go over. Let's start in Tekken with the Philippines and East Asia regional final. East Asia kind of there for window dressing almost. 7 of the top 8 finishers, 7 of the top 8 qualifiers, I should say, were from the Philippines. T-Rex representing Hong Kong, the only non-Filipino player to make it. But it is AK taking it over Jules in the grand finals. RGN and Maru were the other 2 players to make it out of pool play. Sidestep Lance, even though he finished tied for 5th here, got one more win than Titan Thor because he and Coffee Prince finished tied in the seasonal standings for the final spot. They played a tiebreaker set, and Sidestep Lance won. So he is the one who got to compete.
Wow.
So on the other event of the weekend, it was the South Asia regional final. Strong Indian flavor to this one. 7 of the top 8 finishers coming from India, including second place finisher Loveneat and third place finisher Neo. But it is the non-Indian player, the Dark Prince from Pakistan, taking home the win and the top prize. The grand final of this one, unfortunately, was played off stream. I don't know if there was a connection issue with this particular set, but you'll be able to find the other ones online on the Bandai Namco Esports channel. And that is also where you'll be able to find action from the DBFZ World Championship European Regional Final. This one featured top players from the DBFZ Online competition, with the top 4 finishers making it to the the World Championships. It was almost an all-French affair. Yasha, Wawa, and Gila swept the podium for France, but Spain's Shanks was able to finish in that 4th spot. He is the last man to qualify for the DBFZ World Championship from Europe. Whew.
It's a big recap, Steve.
It is a big recap. And you know what?
It's not over yet, is it?
Well, next week probably won't be all that small either, because we've got quite a few events to look forward to this weekend. Obviously, you've got Street Fighter League Japan tonight / tomorrow morning. You've got Street Fighter League US tomorrow. This weekend, you also have the first event in the Arc Revo America qualifiers. This one being US Central. Europe gets their 3rd event on Sunday, and that is for Russia, Ukraine, and that region of the world. You've got the DBFZ Championships this weekend for the U.S. region. You've got Tekken Online regional finals for Southeast Asia and Oceania. And this weekend, you also have the Killer Instinct World Cup. The main channel, Ultra Arcade, they will have the LCQ on Saturday, as well as the top 32 bracket on Sunday. Devil May Care 4 will have a 3v3 exhibition, and Fight Sessions is going to have a special women's invitational event to coincide with that weekend. So all of that under the KI World Cup umbrella. If you want to watch some good KI, now is a good time to do that.
Dang. I love me some KI. I always forget I like KI until I see KI. Then I go play KI, and then I have a grand time.
Man.
It's fun.
It's so good. Even if it's such a great game to... There are a bunch of games that you can just sit down and watch, even if you don't follow super closely. KI is one of them.
Yeah.
And if you do follow closely, you follow players like Wheels, who has made it to KI World Cup every year he's been able to compete. To see if... I don't know, is Rico Suave back in the mix?
Oh, man, that's a name I haven't thought about in a hot minute.
Yeah, I think he is, but...
I can't wait to see him. But, it's so cool that a game like KI took care of something very important, and it was the netcode. The netcode is great, so we got to have a lot of online competition, and now we're finally leading up to KI World Cup, which is going to be great. Speaking of rollback netcode, we got a big announcement after CEO this weekend, Steve. And by after CEO, I mean during CEO. And that is the trailer that I'm going to play right now. Rollback for BlazBlue, Central Fiction, and BlazBlue Tag Cross Battle. It's crazy how BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle has become such a crazy, amazing game. Fun times. Thanks, Arc System Works. So, BlazBlue, Central Fiction, and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle now are going to get rollback netcode. About gosh dang time, Steve.
I am honestly surprised.
Yeah.
I'm let me rephrase. I am not as surprised about BB Tag. Well, let me take that back. I am surprised about BB Tag because, it feels like there is this sort of cycle when it comes to BlazBlue games. Where, you get the support for a couple years. It's sort of like the Mortal Kombat cycle, where the support isn't, you don't expect these games to get support for 5, 6, 7 years. So I'm a little surprised to see BB Tag get it. But I did think if any one ArcSys game, any older ArcSys game was going to get it, it would be BB Tag. I did not expect Central Fiction to get that sort of love as well.
Now, Steve, you say that, but Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R got rollback not too long ago either.
That feels like... It felt like that was sort of testing the water to roll it out in maybe Strive and other newer games. I didn't necessarily think they were going to go with one step back. It felt like... It feels like anything beyond or before Xrd is ancient history in terms of fighting games, which is really weird to say. And I'm probably going to get
after Xrd, didn't it?
It was right around the same time. I forget which one came out first.
Okay.
No. It was right before Xrd.
Was it right before Xrd? Okay, because I remember the other BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma, I think.
Oh, that's probably it.
Yeah, but anyway, Boomer Fighters Die by Sword, please. Don't make me feel older than I already feel. And I feel like I'm like 800 years old, please. But anyway, Steve. I am ecstatic. More good netcode for us to play more fighting games in.
And if you've seen the numbers of players on Steam, it has just skyrocketed ever since this announcement.
Yeah, it's almost like if they give us a good venue to play video games, we'll play them.
We say this every time someone comes out with rollback. But yeah, especially after everything that's happened over the past year and a half, coming up on 2 years now, online play, online experience is so important. It is so critical. And if you don't get that right, it is going to be tough to hang on to any sort of player base.
Yeah.
This is, not only does it help the player base directly for BB Tag and for Central Fiction, but it's also an investment in goodwill for your future games going forward. Because now, if it's not only, as long as it's well implemented rollback, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt when you're talking about pre-sales for your next game, whatever that may be. Because that, they're going to say, they went back, they improved the experience for Central Fiction, they improved the experience for BB Tag. They're going to give me a good experience. I feel comfortable giving you my pre-order money now, as opposed to some other games where they haven't exactly done as well.
Yep. Yeah, but man, not only I can be as excited as I want to. I love watching BlazBlue Central Fiction. I enjoyed playing a lot of BB Tag, and then Blitz Tank came out, and every time I would try to dash, it was an attack that's punishable, and I got frustrated and left. But it's so cool to see these games get like this new breath of life, and seeing everybody super duper excited. Man, I cannot tell you. Like as soon as I saw that trailer, I went to Twitter, just everybody freaking out. It's like, yeah, rollback for a game, yeah. I saw, was it Beautiful Dude was like screaming at his wall scroll of Relius. People at the venue were going crazy. It's just, it's FGC euphoria, I suppose.
I want to point out something that they announced this on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday, BlazBlue Central Fiction reached its all-time peak for players. It was averaging, heading into CEO, it was averaging about, on Steam, about 130, 150 players. And then it shot up all the way to a peak of over 4,700. So if you build it, they will come.
If you roll back, they will play. That's going to be the new motto going into 2022 for the FGC, ladies and gents. Although hopefully there will be more offline. But Steve, is there anything else left to say about this new rollback implementation for BlazBlue, Central Fiction, and Cross Tag?
If you want to get in on the action, you do have to opt into it in the settings. Because if you don't, it's going to be
the not beta.
Yeah, it's going to be the traditional connection.
Yes.
Also, there is a BlazBlue bundle sale. I'm trying to find the link for it.
I was just about to mention that too.
Excuse me.
Even Strive is on sale now. So there's like a big Arc System Works sale going on.
Yeah. Strive is or BB Central Fiction is the bundle for both games is 50% off. Or for 5 games, I should say. It's a 50% off bundle. For $100 you get Strive, Central Fiction, with Jubei, BB Tag, and Plus R.
Wow.
But Strive is 35. Strive is 35% off right now. Central Fiction on Steam is $20. BB Tag is $4.99.
How much?
$4.99.
$4.99. Damn. I might
Calamity Trigger is $149.
$149?
Sure, let's go with that.
Cool. So go out there, get yourself some BlazBlue, get hit with some overheads, and let Arc System Works know with your wallet that they're making good decisions by adding rollback to games. Big thanks to Arc System Works for making good decisions by adding rollback to their games. Steve, I think it's time for us to get to the next segment.
Yes.
We're going to talk new characters. And I was not here last week, but luckily, you guys didn't talk about new characters last week. Because even though I have had this new job, I have been able to get my hands on some video games, more so than I have in the past. If my boss is here, forget I just said what I just said. I got a lot of opportunity to play both Luke and Happy Chaos. So let's go and talk about Luke and Happy Chaos. First, Luke. Let's cover Luke. Steve, we talked about Jake Paul coming to Street Fighter V. He's finally here. He's made it. And what I find really funny is the entire time they were like, oh, his dad's like a really important person in Street Fighter V or in Street Fighter lore. And everybody was expecting it to be like Nash. Everybody was expecting it to be Guile. And in the end of it, they never say who his dad is. A lot of people were saying it's Joe Star from Street Fighter 1, but no confirmation at all. But let's talk about Luke himself. Luke plays a lot like the mid-range characters in Street Fighter V. So let's talk like something like Karen, something like Cammy, where he's so good at controlling the mid to close range. Like anything from let's say if like my box here is the ring. Anywhere from between here and here, Luke has a very, very good set of tools to control. His mechanic is his big defining mechanic is that every one of his knuckle punches, you can charge up. So you have to do a quarter circle motion and then you hold the button down and it charges up to 3 levels. And the charging time is super duper strict. So if you're not at the top of your game, you're gonna get a level 1 instead of a level 2. You're gonna drop combos. You might get a level 3, and you're gonna drop your combos even more. It's crazy. It's a character that I think has a very good balance of being fun at a lower level and being difficult to master, which I think is what they were kind of hoping to get with Street Fighter V. A lot of people have been playing Luke. Unfortunately, he was not CEO viable. Of course, he came out the week of CEO. So, no Luke at CEO. However, there's a lot of people playing Luke Online. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming out of Luke. And I think if Luke is a barometer for the direction that they're going for in Street Fighter 6, which they have said that I think they have said it is, but I can't tell if they meant it from a story perspective or from a mechanic perspective. I think Street Fighter 6 is going to be tons of fun if it is from a mechanics perspective. He completely changes the V-trigger game. He doesn't lose V-trigger by standing still, so you have to attack him to make him lose V-trigger, or he has to use it up. Completely changes the whole vibe of the game, because usually when somebody activates V-trigger, like when Minot activates V-trigger, or when Cammy activates V-trigger, you just kind of sit back and wait for that to run out. Sorry, Steve. And with him, with Luke, if you stand still with Luke, it builds it back up. If you get a hit with Luke without using your V-trigger move, it builds back up. So it's a super interesting way of making the V-trigger be worth more than it is. And it's also a super good way of balancing out the use of V-trigger, because, again, when he gets hit, he loses that V-trigger bar. So, super duper cool. I'm a big fan of the direction. I'm not a big fan that it's Jake Paul, but you know what? Who cares? The character's fun to play. Steve, do you have any thoughts on Luke?
I've got nothing for Luke.
Cool.
I've got nothing for Luke Paul.
Nothing for Luke Paul. It's all right. Let's move on to the other new character that came out a day before Luke. Or was it a day after Luke? I think it was a day after Luke. I think Happy Chaos came out on Tuesday.
Give yourself the spotlight, man. It's been a while. You deserve the spotlight.
No, it's okay. I'm kidding. All right, fine. So I hate it here. I don't like how I look. And my wall has some cool textures, which is nice. Anyway, let's talk Happy Chaos. Happy Chaos is the Guilty Gear character who got announced the weekend of him coming out, right? I think he got announced on either Friday or Thursday, and then came out on Tuesday. Happy Chaos is super duper interesting. I really enjoy that character. He's so hard to play, right? So Happy Chaos is the main antagonist in the story mode. I haven't played the story mode, so I just know he's the antagonist. But his mechanics are super duper interesting because he has a gun, like an actual gun. Like if you have ever thought, anytime somebody uses the analogy, they gave T-Hawk a gun, they gave Happy Chaos a gun. He has a literal gun. At any point, whenever you want, you can hit hard slash, and he pulls out a gun, and there's a crosshair that moves kind of slow on your opponent. And then at that point, when he has the gun out, he can shoot that gun at any point. It doesn't matter if he's in the middle of a move. It doesn't matter if the opponent's in the middle of a move. He can pull out a gun, and he can shoot the gun whenever he damn well pleases. However,
that does not sound like a video game character.
Oh, whoops. I did the wrong one. Sorry, Steve.
That that does not sound like a video game character. That sounds like a criminal.
Well, he's the antagonist in the game.
That just sounds like a straight up, like you went down the wrong street at night and now like it's items on first to one.
Yeah, I mean he is the antagonist in the game. So Blue is saying his theme though. Yeah, his theme is crazy. It's almost like a Bohemian Rhapsody type of thing because there's so many different styles in it. It's crazy. Anywho, the thing that's keeping Luke in check is he has 2 resources for this gun. One being bullets. He has 6 shots and then he has to reload. The other one is his concentration meter. If you use the gun too much, he's gonna lose focus and then he can't pull out his gun for a while. And they play around with that mechanic quite a bit. So one of his supers refills his bullets. One of his supers refills his concentration meter. Certain moves, certain combo finishers allow him to use up more of the concentration meter for better aiming. That's the big thing. It's like the aim is a little bit wonky, right? That's the thing that's going to be really tough to get used to. Is you go into like a big concentration or focus mode where like he does like a Wild West thing where he... Well, not necessarily a Wild West thing, but he does like a cop thing where he like holds the gun with 2 hands. And at that point, the crosshair is immediately on your character and it can hit you from basically anywhere. However, that costs a lot of resources. So use it wisely. I've seen a lot of people using it in combos. It's super cool. He's super different. He's super cool to play. He has this mechanic that like feels like it's something that can bring a lot of freedom to a game that a lot of people have been complaining about not being like too free. Or like people have been feeling very confined. I think I've heard it say that. I've heard people say that Guilty Gear Strive feels like Guilty Gear on rails. So something like this, I think, kind of helps move away from those rails because it just gives you such a breadth of opportunity and creativity. And I can't wait to see what people come up with. People have already been coming up with a lot of stuff. So Luke's been fun. He hurts to use. My fingers hurt every time I play him because like you're just like the entire time, like you can't use hard slash with him because hard slash is just the gun. So you're just using kick, punch, and slash and dust. So it's like super interesting because like again at any point, like if you hit confirm, you can hit confirm with it. You can keep it, make yourself safe, right? Like my favorite thing to do is hit far slash, which is like just a giant push. If it gets blocked, pull out the gun, shoot twice, and then reload. You're safe. If it gets hit, pull out the gun, shoot twice, and then combo. It's great. It's so cool. I'm a big fan. Big A-OK for Luke. Or, sorry, Happy Chaos.
I was gonna say, if Luke has a slash, we're done. We're just done.
Oh, something I did want to mention about Luke that I forgot. He's the best Shoto in Street Fighter V, hands down. His fireballs are so fast, and his dragon punch is so good.
Yeah, it looks like a beam super almost.
Yeah,
with how quick it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so we're in like fighting game wonderland here. We got all these new toys to play with, and I can't wait. I'm gonna go play some Happy Chaos after this show is over. So yeah, those are the new characters. Steve, have you seen any of Happy Chaos? Do you have any thoughts?
I've seen some characters that made me happy this week. Because we've got a lot to get through still. So we have the characters that have already released.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've got some characters that are coming down the pipe. We want to take a look at those?
Sure.
I have no idea what the order is on this one.
We'll go with the order of games. So we'll start with a game that got announced a whole while back. Also, apologies for the graphic being wrong there at the bottom. We'll have it fixed for next week. For those of you listening, you didn't hear what I just said. Thanks. Just pretend you didn't hear it. Okay, so this game got announced way back when, and we're finally getting to see some of it. And then now we're seeing a lot of it. There's basically a new character for this game coming out every week. So it's almost like KOF 15, except for the Arxis stuff. So let's see this trailer, shall we? Who's next? Now, something cool to notice. I don't think I've gotten to talk about this much at all, but let's go back to that trailer real quick. Because a lot of there's something in here that's very important. And I'm trying to see if I can get the last frame of this to show up. All right. You see on the bottom right there, Steve? You see that developer there? Aiding? Yeah. Do you know who Aiding is?
They sound very familiar.
Aiding is the company. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it sounds like they may have made a game or two before in the fighting game region.
And it's a game that we were talking about during the recap. It's a very old game that older people like to play, apparently. Aiding had a hand in making Marvel 3. So the fact that Aiding has a hand in making this game, a lot of people are starting to put two and two together and getting kind of excited for it. Is that going to ultimately be the case, that we're going to get something very Marvel-like with this game? Probably not. Or maybe. Who knows? But it's nice to know that this game is in good hands, being part of being published by Arc System Works and developed by Aiding and Neopol. So cool. And Dungeon Fighters is a huge thing in Asia. Like, that's a huge thing. It's much like BlazBlue, or not BlazBlue, I'm sorry, Granblue. It's a very, 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 very big IP that ArcSys is getting their hands on. So we haven't been able to see much. These trailers are disgustingly short, if I'm gonna say. Like, if you hated the way Dragon Ball Fighters trailers went, cut those in half. Dragon Ball trailers were around a minute. This is like legit like 40 seconds. So that's Berserker. That's of course, one of the main characters in Dungeon Fighters. Let's take a look at a couple others, shall we? Oh, it's this guy.
I'm so sad Sharpie is not here for this.
Oh, no, if I were a little
if I were filling in for Sharpie, I'd be talking about how he could crush me within his hands.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Oh man, I'm gonna get us in trouble.
This is literally, this entire trailer is 38 seconds. What in the ever-living heck, Steve? Anyway, that's Inquisitor.
She tied that guy to a stake.
Yeah, she's going to inquire. Him. He's going to inquire about a couple things.
And burned him.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is a level of violence. No.
Okay, Steve, maybe this character will fit you better.
Ilan, did you
Speaking of guns, also, by the way, I really hope this... For it. I really hope this move is an overhead, because it looks hilarious, just pistol whipping somebody from the top with the... Pop!
Bonk!
Alright. So that's Ranger. So we have Ranger, Berserker, Grappler, Inquisitor. There's one more, Steve.
One more. Uno más.
Now I understand why people like this game. I don't agree with it, but I understand. Now, from my understanding, that's one of the main characters in Dungeon Fighters. I could be wrong about that, though. But anywho, that's the cast of characters that we've gotten so far for Dungeon Fighters. The game looks really pretty. It looks pretty cool. It's very flashy, very neat. And honestly, like, I might buy it if it's fun to play. I think in that last trailer we saw Striker, she did a combo where she launched someone and then just did like 8 jabs consecutively. It was pretty great. Air jabs, baby. It reminds me of Exert a little bit, to be honest. Because when I first started playing Exert and I didn't know how to play, I would just do jab, 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 jab in the air and it would work. But anyway, that's Dungeon Fighters. Steve, any thoughts on Dungeon Fighters?
It looks very pretty. It looks like I don't care for the series, so I'm coming in just as a, from the perspective of someone who's just looking at it, a fighting game. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. I'm impressed with what I've seen thus far.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Can't wait. While we're on the Arxis wagon, let's stay on the Arxis wagons because we got a little bit of a teaser after CEO this past weekend. It's a Guilty Gear. The character just came out and they put out a teaser. I was not expecting a trailer, to be completely frank with you. And you could tell they didn't have much because this is taking a while to build up here. Oh, they got a Sam Show character in here? Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's kind of true. There she is. I've heard so many people say no Baiken, no buy.
Guess what? You're buying now.
Thanks, Baiken.
Swag. So much damn swag. There are complaints you could make about that character design, but she just drips. Oh, she just drips swag.
Can I be real for a second?
You are always have permission to be real.
Why does she wear an eye patch if the eye patch is clear?
Because why the
what the hell is the point?
Play it again. Or jump to... Yeah, can you jump to the...
Yeah. Here. See that? What's the point of an eye patch if it's clear?
It's protecting. It's like a goggle.
Both, Steve. Sorry. Tired of these decisions that don't make sense.
Just let it be. It's swag. It's swag.
You know what is swag, though, Steve? I disagree with Baiken being swag, but you know what really is swag, Steve?
Go for it.
Well, maybe... Yeah,
and now
here it is. The swaggiest character known to man, Garfield.
No.
See, look at that. Do you see his block? He ain't having none of that. Top to the hand, mister. Now that's swag, Steve. And you know what? No useless pieces of clothing. He's a cat. Look at that. The chat's hype. Everybody loves Garfield. Although, to be honest, I didn't know he was a Nickelodeon character. I
do not love Garfield.
Why? What? Why?
You have so much Nickelodeon lore at your disposal, and your first character is Garfield. No.
Oh. Now, hold on, Steve. You cannot say you have so much Nickelodeon lore at your disposal when they wasted 3 slots on Avatar characters, all right?
Wasted.
Good
night, Canada.
Good night, Steve. I'll do the rest of the show by myself. Also, we already skipped one of the... All right, that's fine, Steve. Goodbye. I disconnected Steve's call. He will no longer be with us tonight. So we already went over the DNF Duel reveals. We went over Garfield. I'm kidding. Here's Steve. But dude, like Action Force or Action Team Hero now. Wait, what's that? Meltman? I always forget the name of that show.
Action League Now.
Thank you. Meltman. There's not even a dancing lobster in here. Come the hell on. All right? Where's all that? At least give me the All That logo. Give me some... You remember when I said I was going to be upset if they didn't have the Aggro Crag as a stage? I'm upset. I've been holding that in for a while. Okay? Instead, you're going to waste 3 characters on Avatar? A show that I haven't watched? Obviously, I'm the most important person to please. Anyway.
I don't... So, Garfield is coming for free. He'll be out tomorrow.
Good.
I don't care for Garfield. That is... They bought his rights in 2019.
Okay, so Nickelodeon did buy his rights.
he's been a character for decades. He's been a Nickelodeon character for 2 years, and he's the first DLC character. I do not approve of this. I do not approve of this. I'm sorry. Call me a hater if you must.
Oh, you like Mondays too, Steve? Is that it?
I am a fan of Mondays.
To hell with Mondays.
Lasagna is okay. It is
in the interest of me not getting too upset. We're gonna move on.
Yes,
because we cannot keep going down this way. Because
let's agree to disagree.
My blood pressure is already high enough as it is, Steve. I cannot. We're moving on. Here's the last character that we have that was announced these past couple weeks. Too bad Sharpie's not here.
Umbrella, take one. It's showtime.
We've been waiting forever for this. Hope you're ready.
Steve, did you give me the wrong trailer?
Nope.
Why do all these trailers do this?
We'll always be together. I'll feed you the world. Get ready for some mad salt. Get this season.
This one's gonna be fun.
Available now on consoles and PC.
Nice.
So we know she's coming early 2022.
Who is the next Skullgirls character?
Oh, why is she introduced? Oh, okay. Oh. Why did it get creepy? Is that a bunny?
Why does everyone have guns?
Hey,
everyone's got
you ever walk around in the 20s?
So, the rumors were true.
1920s?
Let me
You
take
didn't have
you
a gun.
in for your final bedtime.
We're in trouble. Anyway,
Is this-
Black Dahlia.
Is this National Gun Week? We got Ranger, we got Happy Chaos, we got Black
Happy Chaos came
Dahlia.
out last week.
Well, you're talking about him this week, so we're counting it as this week.
Sure. I mean, you know, people say give fighting characters guns and the game's over, but they're kind of proving that wrong.
Man.
Luke has guns.
We are getting
got Popeye
Skullgirls. God, we're getting Skullgirls characters in 2022.
Yeah, look,
my
it's
mind
never a bad
is
thing.
still. My mind is still wrapping around that fact. I am used to the game just I'm still used to the curse of Skullgirls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the game that barely missed out on an Evo slot, that kind of got screwed out of an Evo slot after that, that had so many issues befall it. I'm not used to good things happening to this game.
Well, get used to it, Steve, because 2022 is the year of the fighting games.
As long as it happens.
As long as it
As long
happens.
as it happens.
As long as it happens. Omicron, go away. Please never come back. All right, Steve. Speaking of
That's
Omicron,
what I'm actually worried about.
Same.
And that's...
And I think that kind of ties in with our discussion here of our last topic, which we have 10 minutes to talk about. And it's CEO. Second big offline event. First super major to come back. How do you think it went? What do you think, Steve?
It went about as well as you could ask for. You know, there were things that they did to make things a little easier, like they had the welcome kit that included those green stickers, or 3 stickers, I should say, that indicated the level of close contact you're okay with, whether you want a whole lot of space, you're cool with the fist bump, you're cool with people being right next to you. I appreciate that.
That's something I wish we had before COVID, to be honest.
we can be the change we want to see in the world.
True.
The one thing that does worry me, heading into this, we did hear about an Omicron case being confirmed out of a person from Minnesota.
Oh.
No, well, it was a person from Minnesota who went to an anime convention in New York and contracted it. So obviously, we know that can happen. We did have at least one person step forward after CEO and test positive for COVID afterwards. Not necessarily the Omicron variant, but if you did attend, please, if you have not done so, please get tested. Please get tested next week as well, because it can take a little bit for those
3 to 5
symptoms
days
to show up. Yeah.
3 to 5 days.
So,
after 3 to 5 days of attending the event, schedule yourself a COVID test. They're free. You can go to CVS. I did one before I went to Formula One. It's so easy. Literally, you just schedule it. You drive up in your car, and you park, and then they have like this little hut outside of CVS. Lady comes out, like, here you go. Put this up your nose and touch the back of your eye. And you do it, and then you drive away, and an hour later, you get a text. So,
yeah. But I think something like that just highlights that we aren't quite through the end of this just yet.
mm-hmm.
We did have, I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it a couple weeks ago, but the Japanese players who qualified for the Smash World Tour regional final didn't get to go because of restrictions that were placed on Japanese travel.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting to see that in other regions of the world. I'm wondering if we are getting to a point where, I'm a big fan of soccer. If you watched any of the Champions League games today, first of all, Barcelona. Second of all, you saw that some of them started playing in empty stadiums again, especially in Germany, where they've had a bit of a rough go of it lately. I'm wondering if we're going to possibly see another wave of cancellations of big events, cancellations of big group gatherings. I wonder if we haven't seen the end of that quite yet.
Yeah. And it's funny seeing the feedback post CEO. There's a lot of people who were at the venue saying they felt safe. They were asking people to put on masks in the ballrooms. They were doing their best. There's also a couple people saying that they didn't feel safe, right? So, and it's funny, Esteban, friend of the show, he was here. We talked to him about his KI documentary. Was there capturing footage, and he asked about people who watched or attended and on Twitter, and there was, again, a lot of mixed reviews of people saying, hey, it felt great. We had one person saying they didn't feel great. I specifically replied with saying I wish I would have gone, but I'm glad I didn't go, just because I don't know if it's just me being paranoid or if my fears are valid or whatever, but it's a scary time to be out. But with that said, from what I've seen in the streams, I think with very few exceptions, I think everybody was trying to be as safe as possible. And you, at the end of the day, the event was great, right? It seemed like everybody was safe, or as safe as they could be. Unfortunately, because it's in California, there are a couple of rules that they have to abide by, which are awful because the leadership there is not great.
Which state was it in?
What did I say?
California.
Did I say California?
Yeah.
Oh man, I meant Florida. I genuinely, honestly, I didn't. Here's where my brain's at. I didn't even know I said
geography is a construct.
Look, I didn't even know I said a state. That's where my brain's at. But anyway,
it's okay.
Out in Florida, where some rules are definitely not as well thought out, and some of the people in power are desperately trying to cling to that power. So, of course, they were I personally trust Jabali and his team to keep everybody safe, and I think everybody else did as well, which is what made the event so successful. I would love to see more offline events, but again, with the state of the world, it's kind of difficult to say what's going to happen. So, Steve, what was your biggest takeaway from CEO? Like, do you have like one thing that was like, dang, CEO did this, or this happened at CEO, or I think X about Y? We were talking about math in the countdown.
I feel like my big takeaway is just a reminder of how much offline events are part of the lifeblood of the scene. There is just an energy about, my friends that did go, even my friends that didn't go. We can have online events, and this is not a knock on anyone who's been involved in playing or especially organizing the online events that we've had over the past couple years. But being able to go offline to face off in tournament, in person, and then even more important than that, afterwards just getting random games in, meeting new people, trying out new Korean barbecue places because we don't venture outside of Korean barbecue.
I still have never had Korean barbecue.
It's going to happen. You go to an event.
Yeah, I'm moving to California. I'm sure it's going to happen sooner or later.
But, yeah, just there's something about that is just, irreplaceable.
Yeah.
We can do as much as we can online, but offline is just such a huge part of what we do. And it provides such a big boost of energy and passion to what we do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Because at the end of the day, online tournaments are great, and they certainly help keep us together and help keep us competing and playing games. But at the end of the day, being at an offline event, or even just watching an offline event, like as soon as I turned it on and I was watching a tournament again, I just felt like this wave of like relief, right? It was like, I'm sitting back, I'm watching somebody zoop an old lady in Marvel. It's great. At the end of the day, I think one of the big aspects of the FGC, well, actually the aspect of the FGC is it is a community. And having events like this help bring that feeling of community, like that communal, like everybody's together getting excited about things we enjoy in the same place. That's absolutely, like you said, Steve, it's irreplaceable. And seeing it happen after 2 years of not seeing it is special. And I sincerely hope that we don't go back to another lockdown and we can get to more of these events. And we can see these events. We can attend these events feeling safe and getting to hang out with our friends and getting excited about our common interest, which is fighting games.
Fingers crossed.
Word. So, much like the C in the FGC and the C in Community Effort Orlando, community is the most important thing of all. Lastly, go ahead. What were you going to say, Steve?
I was going to say the second most important thing of all is sleep.
Yeah, always. Speaking of sleep, we have one more C that we are going to cover on the show, and that's see ya, because it is time for us to pack up the bags.
You hit me with that mix-up, man. I was like, what topic are we doing? No, I want to go.
It is time for us to get on out of here, because it is 9:31. And I am exhausted. So, first of all, everybody hanging out with us in the chat, put a smile in the chat, so I know you're listening. And you at home, type a smile and send it to a friend via text, so I know you're listening. Those of you on YouTube, comment a smile on the comment section, so I know you're listening. A couple of you didn't type a smile, but that's okay. I guess I'll take it. Thank you all for being here. It is. I'm going to be 100% real with all of you. And this is even like more real than I plan on getting. Right before this show, I felt this kind of feeling of dread. It's like, oh man, I have to run a podcast again. Especially after work, I was feeling a little bit defeated. But now that we're at the end of the show, I am extremely reinvigorated. And I cannot wait to dive back into some best of 5 stuff. I promise we're going to try our best to find a time slot that fits for everybody for the live show. And for our uploads as well. And know that I appreciate the hell out of everybody here and everybody listening and everybody on YouTube. So, with all that said, this has been another episode of Best of 5. My name is Ilan. I am joined here with the only main squeeze, Steve, the main squeeze, Ace King Offsuit Jerk.
Still a fan, even though we suck.
Okay, USA. I just wanted to share that I have a shirt on that is Bloodsport related. Anyway.
I appreciate that.
Steve, any final thoughts before we say goodnight?
Just one. Good night, Canada.